The Director General of the National Water Resources Institute (NWRI) lead his top management staffs to its regulator for a strategic partnership meeting, having assumed office as the new man in charge. A brief closed-door session between the Director General and the Executive Secretary National Board for Technical Education (Nbte) would start a morning of talks on to consolidate on partnership fostering right here in this hall. Wasting no time, Executive Secretary of the Nbte stands on his feet on entering the hall, commend what he believes is a classic approach to meeting up the mandate of the NWRI.
When astronomers go around planets, they are always looking for a planet that has water. If there is no water, there is no life. We thank God for creating this earth with water in it. And we thank God for creating the National Water Resources Institute for them to advise and guide us in the management of our water resources. The Nbte is a regulatory body for the Tibet sector. It's very ready, my DG, to collaborate with you in order to reposition this institute. Already it's the only research and training institute in issues of water resources in the whole Nigeria. And it's a center of excellence for the entire West African region. We should leverage on that to create global best practices in water management. As you are aware, Nigeria is endowed with a lot of water resources. If I compare Nigeria with Egypt, I find we are underutilizing these water resources. Egypt depends on the Nile only. The entire land of Egypt, 95% of it is not habitable. Only 5% astride River Nile. That's where they live, that's where they farm. And today Egypt is the #1 producer of tomato. Nigeria is #2. Egypt is the one producer of onion in Africa. Nigeria is #2. I always ask myself, what is wrong with our system? Why should Egypt be ahead of Nigeria in so many things in agriculture? They only do irrigation. Of course, Nile, I know, is very critical to Egypt. People even ask a question, which I hope some of you understand. They ask, is Nile a gift to Egypt, or is Egypt a gift to the Nile? That's a question which is always asked. But for me, when I compare the statistics, seeing that Egypt has only 5% arable land, Nigeria has almost 40%. And the kind of rain that we receive throughout the year, the potentials for dams, the potentials to do irrigation, the potential to generate power, electricity, or even do combined power and irrigation together. This is a very critical mandate which the National Research Institute Water Resources Institute should address. And with Professor Abdul Jalal, I'm very confident these issues will be addressed very well, and hopefully Nigeria will come and beat Egypt. That is the challenge I'm giving to all of us in terms of utilization of water resources.
He had words that not only pricks the mind but ones that sets the tone for deep conversations for the Water Resources Institute. In quick response, the Director General of the NWRI, Professor Abdul Jalal, believes that the time couldn't have been better to interface with the regulator for the purpose of setting clear-cut programs and projects for the benefits of the two entities and the country.
We have hit the ground running already. No time. We are not going to go on snail's speed. Like Professor Nzamujo of Songhai used to say, leapfrogging. You just need to progress faster to get barefoot engineers and scientists that will be on the driver's seat of production. Sir, I have known your effort and I have known your commitment to see Nigeria technologically advancing, and I have seen your role in Nbte. Now we are getting back to where we belong. Before we were contemplating of being, is it upgraded or downgraded university? I don't know the general psychology, you feel you have been upgraded. Instead of you to look at what you want and where you are, the Nbte, the National Diploma Program, the Higher National Diploma, are essentially our legitimate path to meet our mandate. Therefore, if it is a dream to go to the university, we have shoved that dream aside, and we are fully pursuing our route to ensure that we have achieved our national objective, we have achieved the mandate of where we have been created. Yes, sir, you have already given us what we have come to request. Your support, because we recognize you as a pinnacle of our support to help us get where we want with ease and with sincere commitment. We already have courses in ND and some of them in HND, and therefore what we require is much. Resource inspection, accreditation and re-accreditation, so that we can meet the maximum or even minimum benchmark of Nbte and start moving forward. I'm requesting this so that this will assist us to boost our enrollment. When you boost your enrollment, you have your messengers, you have your journalists. Your students are your journalists. They will carry your news to their destinations. And there is no reason in the next 1 year to say that we will not be heard all over Nigeria. We are the central focus that coordinates the river basins, and we shall reach to all the 36 states and some organizations and local governments for collaboration. We don't have to wait for them. So this time around we'll be reaching them. We'll be reaching them. We shall also look through. We have a lot of international connection that has gone into the dust, but we'll undust it and also get reach to those partners. Technology is not something that you should underestimate. Even your NYSE scheme has gone a long way. I remember what you were mentioning, especially getting training in Germany and so on and so forth. There is no way we can circumvent our progress in Nigeria without having these proper skills. Luckily, sir, I'm also an entrepreneur because I'm a certified entrepreneur from Benin Republic, from the Songhai Center. Even recently, we went to Cameroon. I didn't present paper on pharmacy, but I went to present on entrepreneurship. Very good. Therefore, I'm very proud of the personnel I have met in National Water Resources Institute. They are capable. They, by qualification and by commitment, I have seen really colleagues to move this institution forward and within the shortest possible time. So, sir, with your fundamental support, I think I'm already on my marks. I'm set. All you need to do is to fire me to go.
There was more areas thought to enhance the operations of the NWI as advised by the Executive Secretary, Nbte.
And with new programs coming, I think this is really going to make the Water Resources Institute a household name. Dr. Diaudi mentioned about renewable energy. I think there is need for your research department, DG, to please look into small hydro. for combined purposes. Irrigation is good, and then small power generation, small hydropower generation. Small hydro is an integral part of the renewable energy family. Small hydro can change the narrative of our energy poverty in Nigeria. At the moment, if you look at the energy statistics, TCN is transmitting just a little over 5,000 megawatts for a population of 230 million people. If you divide 5,000 by 230, you only get 22 watts per capita. If you go to South Africa, they have 270 watts per capita. Egypt, that we talked about, has 400 watts per capita. Nigeria is 22. Europe and China, the average is 1,000 watts. Nigeria cannot industrialize. We cannot develop with this low energy, very serious energy poverty. So the solution is to go into renewable energy, solar, PV, small hydro, and then when you generate that energy, do not put it on the national grid. Send it to industries, educational centers, hospitals in that area on what they call a mini grid. So it will become captive power. At the moment, the over 5,000 megawatts that we generate, 60% of it is consumed in Lagos State. That's why all industries have moved away from all parts of the country to Lagos because of the availability of power. In addition to that 60%, Manufacturers Association is generating over 13,000 megawatts as captive power distributed between Lagos and Ogun State. So that's why economy has moved to that zone. Check the poverty index for Lagos. It's just 5%. 95% are above the poverty line. Take the energy poverty index for Zamfara. It's 95%, the reverse. 95% are below the poverty, the complete opposite of Lagos. Why? Because of energy poverty. Nobody will come and invest in industries and start using generators.
No doubt electricity is a fulcrum on which the National Water Resources Institute can look towards in its quest of becoming independent and focused on its core mandate.
I think one has spoken to...
This prelude sets the stage for more interactions with an exchange of ledgers by both agencies.
Not scratch my back and I scratch your back. So we have, in fact, all the documents speak for themselves. And I'm sure you're an excellent assessor. You will be surprised when you see some of the things here and wonder where have we been.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
That perhaps marks the high point of the event, but of equal importance is the numerous contributions to enhance technical education create synergy with problem-solving courses established by the NWRI.
All the existing directors have a copy of this. We will give them round.
It's 70% practical, 30% theory. However, in our assessment, it's the reverse. You have more of the assessment theoretical through examination, while the practical component is just 20-30. So we introduced CBET in ODFL to ensure that those who will pass through it are assessed based on the application of the knowledge they have in the industry. So joining the ODFL is really going to help you to promote your institution, especially across all the countries in the region, because you can get your learners. They will register with your institute irrespective of where they are. And that way you can further promote TVET learning. Thank you very much, sir.
I must commend our executive secretary in the last 1 year. He has invested so much into this sector, and we commend him for taking the lead. For instance, we have developed curriculum for artificial intelligence. And I'm very sure you will need it to do predictions of water resources across the country, even in the entire African continent. We also have curriculum on hydrology. We have on coastal management. We also have on renewable energy as a NC to the Executive Secretary has mentioned, which we can also decide to look into that. We also have for environmental science and management technology. I'm sure that one is also very relevant to you. And we also have on coastal management. Last but not the least, I also want to let you know we have a journal that we resuscitated it under the current leadership of the board, which we want to invite scholars, academics from your institution to submit their articles in our journal. We can also collaborate. We have a lot of researchers in the board too, which can collaborate too. And then next week, the Federal Ministry of Education is trying to inaugurate a system whereby the Nigerian scholars in the diaspora can collaborate with the scholars in Nigeria, which we can work together to ensure that this country becomes a better country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
The non-political commitment from the National Assembly. They have come up with a number of issues related to coming up with policies that will help the issue of renewable energy be properly placed where it should be. In this direction, I think the institute needs to look at it, look at the blueprint that they have tried to roll out. On the Nbte side, a number of things have been done related to renewable energy, and then with the ongoing collaboration or the renewed collaboration between Nbte and the institute, I think a lot can be done. So far, 2 of the renewable energy sources have been addressed properly. We have NOS, but then we have the renewable energy curriculum has also been renewed. And at HND level, 2 sources of this renewable energy have been, curriculum has been developed for them. So I think it will be good to now to begin to look at water technologies and areas where curriculum or NOS can be developed so that we can boost capacity in this area.
As they all rise to close with photo sessions taken indicative of a successful first assignment by the Director General of the National Water Resources Institute, more insights were shared on what but this mean to both the NWRI and Nbte.
It's a new DG, and more importantly, there is need for Nigeria to harness its water resources. Nigeria is blessed with so much water resources. If you compare with other African countries, many do not have the kind of water resources that we have. But these resources sincerely are not fully harnessed. Not even 10% are properly harnessed. And poor harnessing is even leading to other challenges like flooding, etc. This Water Resource Institute is in a position to change the narrative. So that's why this collaboration between the Nbte and the Water Resource Institute is very critical, so that we can now change the narrative about water resources in Nigeria, train more manpower in this area, develop more technologies to harness, generate even electricity from our small hydro. We have small dams all over for irrigation. We can combine both energy generation and irrigation. The small energy we generate 1 to 10, 20 megawatts can be distributed locally on a mini grid so that we can meet the challenges of energy supply in our various areas, urban and rural. So this collaboration is very important. We are reviewing the additional programs to be run at the Water Resource Institute. We are also looking into skills training, short-term skills training under the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework. We are also looking into areas of curriculum development with the Water Resource Institute under the new leadership of Professor Abdul Jalal Dambaba.
This is our starting point because it's our regulatory body and it's also a technical toolbox for the Nigerian technology and engineering. And as you know, Professor Bogaji has put in a lot to see that this sector has excelled. And eventually, the existence of our institution is have its specific mandate, and such mandate rallies around the Nbte curriculum, and therefore that is why we are starting with him to get his support. And we have come to ask for little, and we've been given multiple.
What are the quick wins, would you say?
Sorry?
What are the quick wins for you?
The quick wins for us is to boost the enrollment of the institution, to make sure that we have more students and more courses to train on,
And we also move to find the gateway for getting these students. After Nbte, now we go to Professor Aloyede in JAM to see his own part. And we also get across other partners and collaborators that will help us. We need to boost our enrollment. We need to also boost our internally generated revenue so that we help our finances. And at the same time, like he mentioned, we are going to deploy short-term courses in order to improve even the skilled youth of the immediate environment, and so that they will reduce unemployment. And again, we're going to also propel our distant learning within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, because there are so many ways to deliver this. There is also the physical contact, but the distance learning equally is playing a significant role because of the technology. And since we are exploiting on the technology, our distance learning sector will also play a central role in our development. Another very important thing is that there is this automatic alarming or flooding system. Since you know, water as a universal solvent. When we say universal solvent, anything dissolves in water, including human body. Therefore, it is central to human life, and therefore we need to go, and equally it can have a disaster. Therefore, it's our duty not only to assist in having water for domestic and industrial sector, equally we should consider the dangers when the water is too much, and we have that automatic alarming system that will go around, renewed our research, and through dams, through flooding areas, so that when such things is about to occur, an alarm will be given like a siren. And that does not mean that in the next 1 hour, no, it will give a latitude so that the people in the area will prepare to evacuate. So all these things with the benefit and with the disaster of water is our concern. And we shall always try to get our information across to constituted authorities, and that is why we need more media coverage so that we can take our information very far for the benefit of Nigerians within and beyond. And don't forget, still this water is central. It's part of the conflicts between the farmers and the herdsmen. And we are trying to get into research whereby we want to integrate tripod confluence, the agriculture, the grazing of the animals, and water. So we would want to call it, the Fulanis have the grazing reserve, they have the animals, the farmers have the agricultural wind, and we have the water. So such confluence, naturally look at it as confluence of conflict. But we want to turn it to conflict of peace, such that eventually when we conclude our research, it will be a blueprint to bring an everlasting peace between farmers and cattle rearers and management of water resources in Nigeria, God willing.
Making their way out, the Executive Secretary shows works from different organizations across the country in this exhibition stand further consolidating what's possible for the NWRI to achieve under a new leadership.
Within the bank. It's a very simple technology. There's a patent on it. And we are trying to even produce miniature size.
We are running away from the Avenue.
But now they bring them exactly.
We realize that there is something that they can amend.
Exactly.
To avoid contamination.
Exactly.
And to avoid
this is one of
administration of even this.
Exactly.
What is the content that you are supposed to?
Exactly.
Not to be giving medicine to say should be you are drinking water.
No.
As the various areas of collaboration clearly stated here postulates a desire from both agencies to harmonize and work for the best interest of water provision for Nigerians.
Some young people in Sokoto just recently developed a 4-wheeler, electrical one, secondary school students. We have a lot of innovation in this country, a lot of brilliant ideas, but we need to engage the private sector. Let them at least have confidence in our technology. Let them commercialize it, and let us see how we can even export it to other parts of the world.
That has been the progress, synergy between the research centers and the industry.
In the industry, yeah, there must be some level of synergy. Yeah, we are thinking of a round table very soon, so that we bring the private sector and our researchers
or whatever. You can also use it to produce petrochemicals. Okay. Because the carbon monoxide
will be converted.
If you combine it with hydrogen, or with rather ammonia, you take the hydrogen, produce ammonia, bring the ammonia with carbon monoxide, you produce urea. Sure. Straightforward, but you need catalyst.
Carbonate and
exactly.
ammonia.
But this is the first stage. This is the first stage. Now this one is.
I think the catalyst is essentially iron.
It's iron, yeah. Which one? The
ammonia.
The ammonia is NH3.
I mean the catalyst that is needed.
The catalyst, yeah, there are a number of catalysts. Yeah, which you can use. Nickel-based catalysts are there. Yeah, so you can use them as catalysts. This one is for from Kensaro, we were protecting in River State. It's a hospital ward alert system, so that if there is any challenge, an alarm will go out to the nurses. You don't need to start calling them. This one is from Sokoto. It's an improved cooking stove. You place the the pieces of wood there. You start the combustion. It will take suck air naturally, and it will give you something very close to a blue flame because there is enough oxygen. When you see soups, it's lack of enough oxygen. So there's a way this.
Because I remember you used to talk a lot about wasting energy.
Exactly. It's wasted really. Exactly. The carbon is not burned. The carbon monoxide produces incomplete combustion. So with this one you can get better energy use. This one was also produced from COVID. And there are a few others from other polytechnics. That one is a technical machine. 2021. Now they can be produced locally. There's also a patent for this. This one is from Nbte. It's I think it's about microwave, biogas, digester, and the processor for chicken. This one is from.
In terms of energy, this is another area.
Exactly, biogas, yeah, it's another area.
Once you have the integrated farming.
Exactly. So all those farmers, exactly.
Poultry drops.
You can always put them in. Exactly. You can produce anything. Yes. So this one is from Auchi. I think it's about construction materials that are developed locally. This one is from where? This one Africa. Yes, there are a few others here. Medical aspirator is also here from local molecular Tanzania. There's also rice, gasifiers, hope. You take the houses.
It is the hope of many that this critical step between the NWRI and its regulator Nbte will be the needed impetus for a total rebirth, support and partnership for the NWRI and its regulator for the good of the country.